At that time, it was Khabib time. Now Charles time. I'm gonna say no. I'm not gonna just jump to the media and say, "Oh, I'm gonna come back fight with this guy." You know, it's like even if just Charles Oliveira gonna beat like Islam, Dustin, everybody, this is his time. I'm gonna be happy for him.
You know, we had the Conor McGregor era, we've had the Khabib era, and now, dare I say, are we in the Oliveira?
Oliveira got better.
Everybody questioned when we would see the guy that we saw against Paul Felder. The guy that when fatigue set in, he looked for the nearest exit and he walked right through it. Everybody has been looking for that guy. Everybody has constantly reminded us that that guy still exists. Everyone has told us they are going to break Charles Oliveira. They're going to remind him of those times where he gave up on himself, where he quit. And every single time, Do Bronx has proved him wrong.
You can have an opinion of Charles Oliveira, but what is Charles Oliveira's opinion of himself? And quite frankly, if you would have asked me a year and a half ago, I would have said, okay, his opinion of himself is, well, I'm going to be a top 10, a top 15, maybe top 10 guy. Maybe I'm going to falter in the big moments. But obviously, we were wrong about him having the opinion of himself. He's obviously, you can't get in a championship fight and get almost knocked out and lose around 10-8 to me and then come back and meet me in the center of the octagon like he did and then win the fight, or have somewhat of a lopsided win against Dustin Poirier, obviously a finish. We were wrong about Charles Oliveira. I'll be the first to admit it.
So
What an incredible, absolutely incredible stat that is, of all the thousands of people that have fought in the octagon and the amount of submission specialists that we have. Charles Oliveira owns the most submissions, which is an incredible feat, but he's also knocking people out now.
Oliveira lives not only in Brazil, where he's going to stay, he lives in the favelas in Brazil. Those are his people, and even if he's rose up, he feeds his community. He is the one that buys books. He is the one that buys medicine. He is the one that buys presents and toys for the children. I didn't know these things about Charles Oliveira. I sat over here in my little throne. I call him Charlie Olives. I will never do that again. But I also didn't know the gentleman and the true hero to many.
Listen, when he was born, he developed bone rheumatism, and he also had heart murmurs. He was told by the doctors he would never walk again. He was told he would never play football. He was told that he would have to have injections every 2 weeks for the rest of his life. Well, as we know, he went on to become an absolutely legendary force inside the UFC, right? Breaking all kinds of records and becoming champion of the world. I mean, if that isn't defying the odds, I don't know what is.
Charles was hurt against Kevin Lee. Charles was hurt against Dustin Poirier. Charles was hurt against Michael Chandler. He's like a cyborg now. And every time he gets hurt, he gets right back up and he goes right back to work in pursuit of what he is trying to accomplish.
Absolutely, that's right there. That defines a champion. In most cases, successful people and winners aren't necessarily the most gifted and the most talented athletes. You know, it's the ones that never stop trying sometimes that outlast the pack and end up being champions. And Charles Oliveira is a good example of that, and I think a lot of fighters should take note from that.
I mean, I said it immediately after we fought. I knew during the second round of our fight that he was going to be a champ, and I see him being a champ for a few more years at least.
I love the striking of Charles Oliveira. I think it's improved immensely in the last few years. You need to be very, very smart in your approach. You can't be hard-headed with Charles Oliveira. He has too many skills in the bank.
He's been around for so long. His story is really inspiring. You know, being a fan of this sport, most submissions in the history. His accolades are second to none.
There's guys that are smaller than me, and I'll danger.
Oliveira is probably one of the best in the game at wrapping up those submissions mid-fight. And his instincts on when to attack him is phenomenal.
Greatest submission artist the UFC has ever seen. Fantastic Muay Thai. Power in both hands. And now he is fighting with a confidence about himself like he is Superman. I mean, dude got a big gold necklace that he wears now everywhere. Cat has to be almost 6 foot tall. At 155, he's massive. And he has the mindset now of a champ.
Of course, his nickname, Do Bronx, that's a big fuck you to his haters. When Do Bronx would go to arenas, or he would have jiu-jitsu competitions and all the rest of it, they would call him Do Bronx, because in Brazil they thought the Bronx was a rough part of New York, which it used to be, but as we know now it's pretty much gentrified, like a lot of those places are. So they would call him Do Bronx as an insult, like calling him poor. So he adopted that, said, you know what, yeah, you can call me Do Bronx, I'll call myself Do Bronx, and I'll prove you all wrong. And proving people wrong, that is what he's done his entire career.
Man, is there not something satisfying about watching Charles Oliveira blossom into who he is? Because he was a boy back then, and now he has become the man that is Charles Oliveira, the champion that is Charles Oliveira. I lost to him, but I think we have unfinished business.
This guy good in the striking, wrestling, and grappling, but I'm gonna make him tired, and I'm gonna make him tired, pressure him, and make him give up, you know, because I know this guy, he don't like when somebody go with him like 3-4 rounds, give him hard punch, hard time, and when he try to finish someone, like give some choke, but when he cannot do this, he give up all the time.
I still think Islam beats him, but I'm less sure than I was going into that fight, because I thought nobody ever could compete with Islam, but this kid is special.
It's really cool to see what Charles is doing. Charles he's a killer right now. He's just doing what he needs to do to get the job done.
I think he's a big boy. If you see Charles Do Bronx, he's a big boy for 155 pounds. You know, I think he might have one fight left at 155 pounds, and I think he goes up.
What hasn't been said about him, he's shown he's one of the best on the ground, if not the best on the ground, and he's showing that he's getting even better to the very best of the guys on the feet.
Charles Oliveira has come into a new persona. He has left the old, quitter, or the old guy who had a spotty track record of ups and downs and bad performances. He has left that man behind, and he is a new man. He's a new creation inside the lightweight division. He sees himself as the champion, and all of us have started to give him that respect that he finally deserves.
The new Charles Oliveira, he is a stone cold killer. I mean, dude's a killer.
Charles is on a roll right now, momentum. He's also a guy that's been through the ups and downs of the game when it comes to wins and losses, and now he's just on a roll. And you see the way dispatched of Chandler, Poirier, and then Gaethje, beast, gangster, just put on this earth to fight.